All right, we're going to get started with our weights class today. So for this class, you want to have a chair as an option. All of the exercises will have both standing and seated variations, so up to you which one you choose to do. You can do it body weight only, you can do it with light weights, medium weights, or heavy weights, depending on where you are in your resistance journey. So grab whatever's good for you, throw on some tunes, and we'll get started. So we're going to start with warming up, nice and gentle. Just checking in, swinging our arms side to side, loosening up our back. If everything's feeling good, you can turn a little further, lift that heel, and just let the movement flow a little freer. Do 2 more on each side. And then we're going to bring everything back into stillness. From here, we're going to go through our shoulders, nice big arm circles. And go the other way. And then moving down to the elbows, nice big circles there as well. And go the other way. And then moving on to the wrists. And go the other way. Beautiful. All right, moving down to the lower body. If you're standing, you can do some nice big hip rotations this way. And if you're seated, scooch to the edge of your chair and you're just going to rock your knees side to side, warming up your hips this way. If you're standing, go the other way. Beautiful. Moving down to the knees. Standing, you're going to pop your knees forward and back. And if everything's feeling good there, maybe add in some circles in one direction. And if you're seated, you are just going to pick those feet up a little bit and swing back and forth, maybe swing in some circles this way as well. If you're standing, go the other way. Or if you're doing circles seated, same thing, go the other way. All right, and then last but not least, ankles, either seated or standing. Pick one foot up, circles in one direction. And go the other way. Switch feet. And go the other way. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to get started with, you'll only need one weight for all of our exercises today. So for this one, grab whatever weight you feel is appropriate for squats. You're going to rack it on your shoulder. The standing version is you're going to do your squat, come back up, and then do a knee drive and bring your elbow to that knee. So you're going to hold the weight in your left hand, bring the right knee up across your body for the knee drive. If you're doing the seated version, you're going to stay sitting the whole time, and you can either bring the knee up and elbow over, or you can just bring the elbow down and leave the knee out altogether. Totally up to you. Pick the version that fits you best. 1 minute, here we go. Looking good. More than halfway there already. Now I'm doing a fairly narrow squat for this one, but you can do a wider leg squat if that's better for you. Just bring your feet out a little further for more balance. And time. All right, shake that arm out, give it a second, and then we're gonna go to the other side. So rack the weight on the right side this time, and the left knee will be the one coming up. Again, seated, standing, whatever version is best for you. Here we go. Halfway there. 30 seconds down, 30 seconds to go. Ten more seconds. You got this. And time. Beautiful. Set that weight to the side. Shake those arms out for a second. And then from here, we're going to go into a split stance, row plus kickback. So if you're standing, you're going to have your left foot in back, your weight in your left hand, leaning forward at about a 45-degree angle, pull up to your armpit, kick back, swing it in, and then bring it down. The seated version, you're just doing it in a chair. And you can do the split stance if that's better for you, or have both your feet parallel, up to you. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Try to keep that elbow close into your side. Focus on squeezing the shoulder blade towards the center of your back as you pull up for the row. Keep breathing. You've got this. Almost there. And time. Put that weight down, shake that arm out. And next up, we're going to go to the other side. So same thing, seated or standing. As long as you have that angle with a nice flat back, you're good to go. Pulling the arm up and then kicking back, keeping the elbow in tight. 1 minute, here we go. Nice and steady. We don't need to be in a rush. Strength building is not necessarily about going fast. You're halfway there. "15 seconds to go. You've got this. And time. All right, shake that arm out. And then from here, we're going to go into a compound exercise. So we're going to either seated or standing. If you're standing, you're just gonna soften your hips and your knees, squeeze your belly in tight. From here, we're gonna do an overhead press, come down for a hammer curl, rotate out, come back in, and start it over again. So you're adding an external rotation, a hammer curl, and an overhead press all at one time. Exact same thing if you're seated. There's really no difference in this one. Still sitting up nice and tall, squeezing that belly in. 1 minute, here we go. Only go as far as you comfortably can for your shoulder with that external rotation. You might feel a little pull at the edge of your range of motion, but you should not feel any pain. If you feel any pinching or anything like that, make smaller motions or put the weight down. Halfway there. Beautiful, you got it. This one is working the shoulder from lots of different angles. You may find that your shoulder gets tired fast on this one. That's okay, you make any adjustments you need to. Time. Shake that arm out. And then we're gonna go to the other side. Same exercise. Squeeze that belly in, standing up tall through the crown of your head. Here we go. If you find that your range of motion is different on one side than the other, that's okay. Stick with what works for that side because you don't want to injure it trying to make it match the other side if it doesn't. On that external rotation, try to keep the elbow glued into the side so that you're working the shoulder and back muscles. Nice. 20 seconds to go. Beautiful, you got this. 5 more seconds. And time. All right, 1 set done. Go grab some water, stretch those arms out a little. And then we've got 2 more to do. All right, guys, bring it back in. Before we start the second set, take a moment to assess. Were any of the exercises too hard? Do you need to lower the weight or put it down altogether? Were any of them too easy? Do you want to up your weight on anything? And how are your knees and hips feeling? Do you need to try any of the seated variations if you were doing standing? Make whatever adjustments you need to make it a good workout for you. And we're going to get started. All right, back to the squat plus knee drive. Standing version, squat and then knee drive. Seated versions, either lift the knee and bring it across or come down to the knee. 1 minute. Here we go. Beautiful. Whether you're doing the seated or standing version, try to really crunch in that core on that knee drive. You're more than halfway there already. Almost there. Time. Set that weight down. Shake everything out for a second. And then we're going to go to the other side. Rack the weight on the right shoulder. And here we go. Beautiful. Keep it up. Remember, slow and steady is fine. You're halfway there already. "15 seconds to go. Time. Go ahead and set that weight down. Shake those arms out. Up next, we have the row plus kickback. So you're going to switch the weight back to your left hand, seated or standing. Find the position that works for you, and then it'll be row and kickback. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. This one is tough for a lot of people. So if you struggle with doing it with the weight, you can always set the weight down and just go empty hand through the motions to help build strength just from using body weight. And then when you're ready to add weight, start off with something light, like a water bottle. And then you can build up from there. Over halfway there. And time. Whew, shake that arm out. And then we have to do the other side. So get in whatever position works for you. Switch the weight to your right hand. And here we go. If you're doing the seated variation, it can be a little harder to keep your elbow in tight to your body on this one. Just do the best that you can, but let your arm follow its natural track. You don't want to try to force it into something that's causing it to click or catch or pinch. 20 seconds to go. Time. Set that weight down. Shake everything out. Next up, we have that compound exercise where we have the overhead press plus the hammer curl plus the external rotation. So grab whatever weight is good for you, or go empty hand all the way up and out. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Nice. You want to be able to do each move, kind of recognize them independently. They can flow together, but you want to make sure that you're really doing each one so you don't fall through the hammer curl. A lot of people have a tendency to kind of let gravity help them on that one, but you want to make sure you're working your muscle in both directions. So you want to control it going down as well as going up. 15 seconds to go. Slow and steady. Keep breathing. Time. All right, shake that arm out. And then we got to do the other side. So switch that weight to the right hand, rack it on your shoulder, and here we go. Up, hammer curl down, external rotation. Beautiful. Nice and steady. You want to do the whole exercise at the pace of whatever part is the slowest for you. So everything goes at the same pace. So whichever one is hardest for you, find the pace that works on that one and then do everything else just like that. 10 seconds to go. Nice. Put that weight down, shake those arms out and grab some water. All right, bring it back in. Once again, check in, see if anything was a little hard that time. You might need to lower weight, or anything that was still pretty easy and you want to go up again. This is our last round. If you're feeling muscle fatigue, you might want to go ahead and drop the weight a little bit. Totally up to you. 1 minute on the clock. We're going to go to that squat plus knee drive. This time I'm going to do the third variation, which is bringing it forward and down. That one works your back and core a lot more. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Looking good. Halfway there. If you've been doing the standing variation the whole time, you're on your 5th minute of squats. So great job. 15 seconds to go. And time. Set the weight down, shake everything out, and then we're going to do the other side. Rack that weight on the right shoulder. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Looking good. You're halfway there. "15 seconds to go. Last set of squats. You got this." Time. Set the weights down, shake everything out, and we're back to the row plus kickback. Starting on your left side, grab that weight. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Row it up, kick it back. If you're standing, you're doing a split stance. If you're seated, you can choose to do the split stance or parallel feet. Split stance can be a little harder in a chair. So it really depends on what kind of chair you have and what works for you. Over halfway there. Remember to keep that elbow in close, as close as you can. And once you pull it up for the row, you want to keep it there for the kickback. Time. Shake everything out. And then switch that weight to the other hand. We've got 1 minute on the clock for this side. Row it up, kick it back. Still slow and steady. If you decided to go down in weight or set the weight down altogether, you still want to do the exercise fairly slow. Don't rush it just because you're not holding weight. Imagine you're pulling that weight up, so you're still contracting the muscles nice and tight. Almost there. 10 more seconds. Time. Shake those arms out. And then we have that last exercise, that's our compound. Again, assess where you are. That one can be pretty hard on the shoulders, so if you need to go down in weight, that's okay. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Up, down, and out. Beautiful. You got it. Standing up nice and tall, sucking that belly in nice and tight, whether seated or standing. Make sure you're doing this one with good posture. Halfway there. Make sure you're still breathing nice and smooth. If you find that you're having trouble taking even breaths, you might be doing too much weight or moving too fast. Five seconds to go. Time. All right, shake that arm out. And then our last one, we got to do that same compound exercise on the other side. So rack that weight on the right shoulder. And here we go. Beautiful. If the pace that you're doing it, keeping it even through all the parts, slows down as you go, that's okay too. I know by the end of the minute, I'm a little slower than I was at the beginning. All movement is good movement as long as it doesn't hurt. So as long as you're still moving, you're still doing awesome. Almost there. Time. Whew, set that weight down, shake those arms out, and you are done. Grab some water, and then we'll do our final stretch. Before we start stretching, go ahead and make sure your space is clear. Move the weights out of the way so you don't stub your toe. All right, and then bring it in. Let's go ahead with our stretch. Again, seated or standing. You're going to take a nice deep breath, bring your arms up over your head, and then fold forward. And just hang for a second. Let gravity stretch out. Let everything relax. Your arms, your head, your neck. And you're going to roll up nice and slow. Roll your shoulders back 3 times. And then forward 3 times. Beautiful. And then from there, you're going to do a nice shoulder stretch, bringing your arm across your body, pulling it in just until you feel a stretch through the outside of that shoulder. And then from here, we're going to look over the shoulder that's being stretched. And maybe if it feels good, tilt your nose down, add a little neck stretch in with the shoulder. Bring your head back up and to center and release. And then we're going to go to the other side. Same thing, look over that shoulder. And then only if it feels good, tilt your nose down towards your shoulder. Bring your head back up and to center and release. From here, you're going to put one foot out, toes pointed up, lean forward, again, seated or standing, until you feel a stretch through the back of your leg. From here, you can reach out towards your shin, your toes, or the floor, whatever is in your reach. And just take one deep breath here. Bring yourself back up nice and slow. And then we're going to go to the other side. Put that other foot out, lean forward until you feel a stretch through the back of that leg. And then if it feels good, reach for shin, foot, or floor. Take another deep breath. And then ease right back up. We're going to finish off with a twist. If you're standing, you can reach all the way around behind you. If you're seated and you want to use a chair, you can grab the chair to help leverage you back. Just looking over that back shoulder, giving yourself a nice little spinal twist. Again, it should not hurt. It should just feel a little stretch through your back. And release, come back to center, and go to the other side. Release and come back to center. And you are all done. Great job today. I will see you next week. New live class times are Tuesday mornings at 10:30 a.m. So if 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Mountain. So if you want to stop in and do the class live, we can always help customize a workout for you.